ओम शांति। आज जयंती बहन मेरा परीक्षा लेने के लिए बैठी है। परीक्षा यानी
नहीं दादी, परीक्षा नहीं है.
Jantiban says it's not a test. Dadi says it's good to have a test. Let's see what questions you have, and that'll mean I have to make the answers. So let's see what kind of answer emerges in front of everyone. But Jantiban says I was going to introduce you in a new way. So Daddy says, yes, okay. We're sitting privately. This is the family. And whatever will happen, it'll be good in drama, very good. And so we should have this opportunity in Madhuban to chit-chat together. Jantiban says, for some time, Baba has given a title of the Trinity Dadis, but 3 years ago it wasn't there. It is 2 years ago that Baba started speaking of the Trimurti Dadis. So when I see the picture of the Trimurti Dadis, one is the Dadi Prakashmani, the image of love, then Dadi Gulzar, the image of peace, and you are the image of wisdom. Is that right, Dadi says? Yes, everyone agrees. When did you figure that one out, Dadi says? And in fact, Jantiban says a lot of people have been talking about this. Perhaps you haven't picked it up. Dadi says it is the mercy of these two. If these two were not there, then where would I be? I'm the younger of the two. They're both senior to me. The image of peace and the image of love, and then only the intellect is going to work. If we didn't have the one of peace and of love, then only the third one in between can do it right. There cannot be arrogance of intellect, but by the company of the color of the company of these two, peace and love, they have enabled the intellect to work properly. But Baba has fixed us in a Trinity form, which is his mercy. He had given us this place, and the place that he has given, one understands it as a fortune. The intellect knowing the fortune that has been received and keeping it in one's awareness, we become the form of that, and then only the Trimurti can operate properly. Is this right? How can a Trinity operate? The three have to be with each other. And this is something from day before yesterday, something that emerged in conversation with Dadi Gulzar, the love and respect that the three have with each other is so strong and so beautiful that it can never get disturbed, because we are very near to each other. That means we're near to Baba, because a Trinity is the word for Baba. It's not that physically we are a Trimurti, but a Trimurti means just as Shiva is there, and there are three like Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, like the father teacher Satguru. There is the incorporeal, corporeal, and subtle. In this way, he uses the triple concept, and he put three. You took my test very well. Daddy, there are some sitting here who feel that Baba is indeed the ocean of love, and so accordingly he loves every soul, But how can I have the feeling personally that Baba is giving me love and that I have a personal relationship with Baba and Baba knows who I am? There are some who do not feel this, and consequently the intellect is going into that feeling of missing the personal connection with Baba, a love connection. So how can we cover this in such a way that I can have a personal relationship with Baba and not have the feeling that that is missing? Daddy says, if you do not have a personal relationship with Baba, it's as if you are sort of all dried up. And so you're looking, you get pulled. If you can't get love from Baba, it means you're getting it from somewhere else and taking it from somewhere else. This is what's happening. This is a good question, yes? In fact, if there's a small child, it's how does it feel love? If a child is 1 day old or a month old or 2 months old, as soon as the child is born, you can tell the kind of child. Sometimes they're crying a lot and they're remembering their old sanskaras, even if they get born in a very good family. Still, the old sanskaras make the child sorrowful. Therefore, what mother and father would not give love to a child, but coming here, when you become Babas, this is my thought, you may have some other thoughts too, you come with your old sanskaras, Baba is giving love, but the old sanskaras don't allow you to take it. The old sanskaras, due to your karma and old relationships, are viceful, and when you come into relationship with the Supreme Soul, you need purity. You remember the first picture that we had in London when we were all in Tennyson Road. It was through Brahma that you get purity, through Vishnu you get happiness, and through Shankar you get peace. And this was a picture that we had, which you don't have that kind of picture now. There are fashionable pictures now. So through Brahma you get purity, so that within a second, when you become Baba's child, it is purity, the power of purity, that allows you to draw Baba's love. Why does Baba say number-wise? It is because there is a difference in purity. Then you get peace, and immediately you get love, happiness, and power. The way in which you become a child, if you haven't taken this, the mother's love, because Brahma is the mother, and the mother Brahma's love is so powerful that it fills you with happiness to the point which it destroys the old sorrow. And when you leave aside this love, either some old sanskaras or you get love from somewhere or another, you become begging for that. You really want that. You become subservient. Then if you don't get love, somebody says, oh, you're very good, and you say, oh, yes, but actually everyone is very good. But this one says, oh, you're very sweet, you're very good. Everybody else doesn't seem so good, but you seem very good. The praise of God, which if we understand and know with understanding, that enables us to experience love from God. I'm telling you these things very directly. Do you agree with this? If you put your hands up, otherwise Daddy will think that you don't agree or you don't understand. The love of God, one thing is we are very fortunate to receive that, because Baba has found me from somewhere or another. We didn't even have the thought that we would be able to come in this way to Baba's home, to the house of God. These double foreigners have a lot of recognition of Brahma Baba, and many times in Avyakt form Baba has said that these ones have a lot of love for Brahma Baba. And I say this is very good. If you have a lot of love for Brahma Baba, then it will connect you with Shiv Baba anyway. Even Brahma Baba would say, don't remember me, but the one who you have love for is true love. And when you receive really true love, if somebody can perhaps have never experienced love, is there somebody who says that there are some people who feel that Baba loves this person, but they don't love me, and they look at the others like that, and they observe how Baba gives love, but they don't look at how that child receives love. Then they start having doubt in Baba that he's showing favor to someone else. If Baba gives drishti, they'll see how Baba's giving drishti to that one, but not to the self, and then they go away. This is a very subtle thing, but they don't understand how to take love. So you need to first understand how to draw love. Pay attention. There is a way to draw love. And for that you have to be very satoguni. The intellect must be absolutely clean, as if you are totally the child of God, the soul. The soul is the child of God. And then Baba's love gives power. Then the mind can have power to have conquest over the sense organs, and there's no confusion and no attraction to anyone else. Then you have great intoxication of the study. And Baba says, look, my child is a knowledgeable soul. And he will say, this is my child. And then from birth, there's a great deal of happiness. Sometimes you would not start crying by hearing or thinking about old stuff, because Baba never liked those who cry. If a daughter-in-law comes into the house and starts crying, then we say, what is this? Whether it's a daughter-in-law or a daughter. There are some daughter-in-laws who make the family look very good, but the daughter doesn't. So there is a way to draw love, and then you have to give the proof of who you are. You don't get love from demanding it, but from having a right to it and claiming it with a right. Is that okay? Is this good?
Next.
Daddy won't go forward until you start really nodding your heads and letting Daddy know that you've got the point. 2 or 3 years ago, it was in Baba's Murli that at the end, there are some who will have repentance. What effort should we make at this time so that for the present time and in the future, we should not have feelings of guilt or repentance, but to remain happy at this time and at the end? The last moments is based upon the present moment. And the present moment, our chart and our record shows me what my last moment will be. And so my present effort, I think one thing and I do something else, and there's another opportunity. Somebody does service, everything happened, but they miss it. These days, this carelessness, or perhaps it's arrogance, or lack of realization,
शक्तिशाली स्थिति
Baba says the powerful
और
stage
महीन बुद्धि,
and a subtle intellect.
जो आज दो शब्द थे ना बाबा के,
There were two words of Baba's today. Have a subtle intellect and a very powerful stage.
मन वचन
Then
कर्म को ऐसा
You will
श्रेष्ठ
keep
बना के रखे,
your mind, intellect, and sanskaras so pure
जो साधारण भी न करे,
that you are not ordinary.
साधारण कर्म करते भी कोई इतनी
Because
ऊंची
if you
प्रालब्ध नहीं
do
बनती,
ordinary karma, you cannot get a very
परंतु ये
high
खतरा है, बहुत
destination.
खतरा है। साधारणता
It is the ordinariness and wrong karma and low karma.
नीच कर्म भी करा लेती है।
The ordinariness makes you do low quality karma. But if you have a lot of attention,
साधारण संकल्प,
that I shouldn't have ordinary thoughts or ordinary words
साधारण कर्म
or ordinary action,
होगा ना तो
because
कभी
if I do,
नीचे वाले खींच सकते हैं,
it will let me be pulled by what is low.
परंतु सदा टेंशन
But if I'm always having attention,
न हो,
that there shouldn't be ordinary thoughts,
बाबा की याद की शक्ति हो,
but there should be the power of Baba's remembrance.
याद में भी शक्ति आती है, याद शक्ति से याद
Power
होती है।
comes by remembrance, and also remembrance requires power. You need power to have remembrance. If you have a subtle weakness, it won't allow you to have remembrance. You will try, but you will not have enough power to destroy the weakness.
कमजोरी श्रेष्ठ कर्म,
Weakness
और दृढ़ता में रहने की
doesn't allow you to be firm in your commitment to make a stage based on elevated karma and elevated thoughts. So internally, pay close attention.
साधारण रूप में होते हुए
Even though Brahma Baba was in an ordinary form, his awareness, and his thoughts were very elevated. And through that, he made us become more elevated.
ध्यान है बाबा के ऊपर,
So we have attention on Baba.
तो बाबा शक्ति देता है, पर स्वयं
Baba
ध्यान
gives power,
इधर-उधर न दे करके,
and he wants to make sure that you are not drawn by being here and there distracted, nor looking at old stuff,
नीच में न आ जाए।
and don't become ordinary and through that go low, because repentance is such a thing that it doesn't allow you to become elevated. So I feel very mercifully when I sometimes have to meet people individually or in the gathering. These days are disappearing and the person isn't taking advantage. This person doesn't have realization that time is going, and ordinary thoughts, ordinary words, and taking ordinary company, having an ordinary stage. So when such a time comes, then they're not able to say what the reason is, and that at that moment they have the repentance, that whatever were the chances that they had, they didn't take them. Who will be repenting? Who will repent? It is those who had ordinary company and they had the opportunity of high company and high study, but they didn't take benefit. And in efforts, they made someone, or they blamed someone. They got into negative thoughts, negative words, and they wasted their time by criticizing others. Mama used to speak about this, that they won't have tears of water, but tears of blood will come. You will feel so bad that you wasted the opportunities of the company, the understanding, the gathering. You had received all this by the blessings of God, but you didn't use it. So if there is the realization of now, that from now, if I bring those moments in front of myself, I do not want to see those moments of repentance. make sure that from the present moment, the effort, the sanskaras should be so elevated that the mind and intellect and sanskaras remain under your orders. The three powers of the soul should remain under your orders. It is your own, if your own mind, intellect and sanskaras are not under your orders, then it makes me subservient. And this subservience is the thing that makes me repent. So if you set aside all that subservience, you put it away, throw it off your back, and take only the support from Baba and remain like that. Only one Baba, no one else at all. No one would come into your thoughts, your drishti, your memory track. Nothing. Keep it all out. Because at the moments of repentance, and I had told you, 40 days I came to Madhuban to stay in Pandabhavan. You may have heard this story before. Baba used to say, go. I said, no, I want to be free from the punishment of Dharmaraj, and so I have to do that kind of tapasya. So for 40 days I sat and I said, Baba, show me Dharmaraj. I said, yes. Baba used to say, no, show me the Dharmaraj. I will not be able to bear it if you look at me with stern eyes. And you may remember, it was spoken in the retreat in London, 40 days. Each one, if they want to make themselves free from repentance, then 40 days, every day, 3 or 4 times for 40 minutes, sit in such a good way, and whatever of the old things that you have done, Baba always says, if you remain in remembrance, your negative karma will be destroyed. So destroy it and make sure that no such karma happens through you, that you, and then you absorb the power of good karma. So some had done this every day, 3 or 4 times. They would sit for 40 minutes at a time and forget all other things and do this for themselves. Finish off the negative karma, so no negative thoughts come, just Baba. And they should do such a strong service, tireless service, not the slightest bit of irritation, no disturbance, and look at their chart and then see, I am good. I can't be good and happy and just prove myself like Baba had said today, just try to prove yourself and think that you're fine and you're right. No. If there is any bit within you that is unworthy, then make that leave, remove that from yourself. According to our personality and the practices of the yajna, Baba puts us in front of the world. We have to give proof by our behavior to the other souls, and according to that, if there is anything unworthy according to that vision, that should not be there. We should be that much attentive on ourselves. And then with love, Baba will look at the soul who has proved itself with so much love. Nothing else, just you have made so much effort on me, and with so much love, so many cautions. Baba, I want to remain the way you want me to be. So a person who has that feeling for themselves, and they want to prove and show this aspect of themselves. It's not a desire, but it's a true feeling. It will happen. And Baba will say, yes, it will happen. And you will see how much fortune you have. And to create such a fortune is in our own hands.
जबकि यहाँ है भगवान,
Here is God,
यहाँ है भाग्य।
and here is our fortune.
बाबा ने समझ दिए, बाबी
But
भी
Baba
बनी
has said that it all depends on how you handle it. If you have the good feeling, you will create your fortune. All you have to do is make sure that you keep in front of you God and your fortune. And by doing this, you will attain,
दिमाग में ये बात पक्की है।
and then your good destiny will definitely happen.
भावना से
Just through good
भगवान और
feeling,
भाग्य को
I keep God and my
के महत्व
fortune
को समझना है।
and understand the value of these. On one hand, I have God, I have fortune,
सब बातों से फ्री।
and free the self from all other things.
और यदि आपको कोई कहता है
If somebody tells you,
बहुत ज़्यादा जवाबदारी है,
I have a
चाहे
lot
सेवा
of
की, चाहे
responsibility,
परिवार की,
whether
लौकिक,
it's
चाहे
service
अलौकिक,
or
और हमको
a
समय नहीं
family,
मिलता,
and I
इस तरह
don't
से
get
प्रचार
time to
करने
make
का,
this
तो आप
kind of
उनको क्या
effort,
कहेंगे?
then what would you
क्या
say?
करती हूँ? मैं इसको पता है।
She knows. I become quiet. I say, okay.
तो मैं कहती हूँ जैसे काम मान शत्रु कहा जाता है।
Just as lust is the
जैसे
greatest
सेवा भी मान
enemy,
शत्रु हो गई।
in the same way, service has become a great enemy for them because it prevents them from doing
इतना सेवा
service.
की लगाव लगन।
They became so much involved in service.
सेवा में दो प्रकार है।
There are two kinds of
अच्छा
service.
है, बाबा कहते हैं बिजी रहते हैं।
Baba says it's good
अच्छा
to
है
stay
सेवा
busy,
में, परंतु
but
अगर आत्ममानी स्थिति में रहने
only if you have a soul
और
conscious
बाबा से
stage
सर्व संबंध की शक्ति खींचने के
and
लिए
you draw the
बुद्धि
power
को
of
टाइम
all
देना।
relationships with Baba,
बुद्धि
then the
व्यस्त
intellect
कर्म
doesn't
में
have time to
सेवा
go
के साथ
into
जिसके साथ
wrong
connections हैं,
action, but through
उसमें बुद्धि
the
व्यस्त हो गई है,
if the soul gets
तो
caught
सेवा
up in the action and the people of that service, then that service isn't really
समझो सेवा
service.
का फैलाव भले है,
Okay, there's a lot of spreading
पर
of
जिस विधि
service,
से मेरी
but the
उन्नति
way
हो,
in which it has to be part of my progress, it will not happen.
इसलिए ये कभी
Therefore,
भी मैं अपने साखियों करके कहेंगी,
I will say to you as a
सारे लाइफ
detached
के अंदर
observer within the whole
ये
life,
संकल्प भी नहीं आया
I have
है,
never had that
ना आ
thought,
सकता है,
nor can it
मुझे
come,
अपने लिए समय नहीं है।
that I don't have time for myself.
ये फिर ब्रह्मा बाबा को देखें,
As seeing Brahma
बाबा को
Baba,
हर बात के यज्ञ का ध्यान रहा है।
Baba was attentive
तो
on
अनेक
all
सेवा
aspects
विषयों
of
की
the
है,
of
अनेक
the
डिपार्टमेंट्स
yajna,
हैं,
and there are many
सेवा
aspects,
है तो
there are
बहुत
many
है,
departments,
पर
all
बाबा
sorts of
भंडारे
service.
का भी नमक का भी ध्यान रख रहा है।
And Baba even understood
बाबा
about the
हम
salt
बच्चों को
in
दूर
the
बैठे भी आज जैसे बोला,
kitchen,
यानी सामने वालों को नहीं पढ़ा रहा हूँ,
and the
दूर बैठे
person
वालों को पढ़ा रहा हूँ।
far would be aware what's happening. Baba did so much
और बाबा ने
service.
स्थिति कैसे बना के रखी
But
है,
look at how Baba created his stage.
स्थिति से सेवा की है,
And it is through his stage
हमारी
that he did
स्थिति बनाने
service.
के लिए सेवा की है।
And service exists for the
अगर वो
purpose of
तरीके से हम
developing the
नहीं करते,
stage. And
माना
if we're not doing
समय
service with that in
और
mind,
संकल्प से जो मेरी
then
स्थिति बने, वो ध्यान
the
नहीं है।
time and thought that's there to make my stage is not being
ये हम
attended
जैसे
to
माँ
properly.
बाबा के बच्चे हैं ना, जैसे माँ
Just
बाप
as
के
we are the
बच्चे हैं,
children of the mother and the
सूरत
father,
मूरत को सामने रखो,
keep their form and face in front and see how they look.
कई बार हम अटेंशन खिंचवाते हैं,
Sometimes we draw
कभी याद
attention
में बैठे ही
and
फट
we
से
sit
नींद आए,
in remembrance. Some people
कभी
immediately
मम्मा
fall
को
asleep.
बाबा को
You would
देखा
never
ही
have seen Mama and Baba falling asleep in meditation.
और देखा है बाबा की नींद कितनी होती थी,
And you saw how little sleep Baba used to have.
कितनी अलर्ट।
He was so alert.
और यहाँ कभी बैठेंगे ना, जब लाल बत्ती जलेंगी
Sometimes,
तो
as
याद में
soon
बैठेंगे,
as
लाल
the
बत्ती
red
जलना शुरू
light
हो जाएगा,
comes on,
आगे
they'll
ऐसे
start
बैठेंगे,
moving around. And sometimes you can sit, not even looking at the clock, sit deeply in
ये अगर
thought.
सच्ची दिल से
So
पुरुषार्थ
if
करें
you
ना,
do make effort with a
तो
true
सेवा
heart,
बहुत अच्छी हो रही है।
then very good service will take
सेवा बाबा
place.
करा रहा है,
Because Baba
सेवा मैं
is
अकेले
getting
नहीं
the
कर रही
service
हूँ,
to be
अनेकों के
done.
सहयोग से हो रही है सेवा।
It is not done alone, but by the help of
परंतु
many.
सेवा की खींच
But
जो है ना,
the
सेवा
pull of
सेवा से
service,
भी लगा हुआ है।
they become attached
सेवा से
to
भी लगा हुआ है।
service.
लगन क्या होती है उसका टेंशन कम है.
And there is less attention on the deep love that is a result of doing Baba's service.
जो मेरा प्लान है, जो मेरे विचार है,
You
वो
just
होते
think
खुशी
about
होती है.
your plan and your idea, and when
plan है
it
या
happens,
विचार
they're
नहीं है, तो
happy.
खुशी
If it
कम हो
doesn't
जाती है.
happen, then your
अंदर
happiness
खुशी जो अंदर
reduces.
मेरी
And so this
personal जो
difference
property
in
बाबा की याद
happiness,
अंदर जमा हो,
the property of happiness
जो
that is
मेरे साथ सेवा
to
करे,
be
उसको भी खुशी मिलेगी ना.
accumulated, you should get a lot of
उनको भी
happiness
प्रत्यक्ष बल
from
मिले ना
the
बाबा से.
service and making Baba
बाबा का
visible.
सेवा का फल
It is
मिले ना.
Baba's service,
जो
you
मेरे
should get
साथ
the
सेवा
fruit of
करने
that.
वाले,
And those who
अगर
do
बाबा
service
से
with
उसको
you,
फल न मिला,
if they don't get the fruit of
या
Baba's
मेरे
service,
हमारे से
or
उसको स्नेह न मिला,
they do not get love from
या
me,
बाबा की याद करने का
or
उसको कुछ ये
there
संग
is
का रंग न लगा,
not the color of the company of my being in remembrance, then it is not service. If anyone is
अगर
with
हम
me,
याद में कम रहेंगे,
if I am less in
सेवा तो होगी,
remembrance, there will be
हमने
service,
एक दूसरे
but
को सहयोग नहीं दिया.
we would not be cooperative with each other.
सिर्फ जब
Just
जाप पर जाते हैं ना,
like people go for their jobs.
तो जाप पर जाकर
They
के
go
अपने
to
ऑफिस
their
में काम
jobs,
कर करके फिर घर
they
आते
do
हैं.
their work, they come home,
तो जाप वाला सेवा में साथ है.
and then the people at
न कि
work
ईश्वरी
are with
सेवा,
them,
ईश्वरी परिवार,
but not the godly family
कि जो अंदर से
and
पावर मिलती है,
through
जो
which they could get
सत्य
internal
परम
power
शांति धाम में जाने के
and the
लिए है.
feeling of going together back to the soul world and coming together into the golden age, they would not receive
शांति धाम में
that.
जाने वाले हम हैं.
We are the ones who are going to Shantidham, and we want to come quickly into the golden age. Then what service did we do for that?
तो सेवा
Service.
व्यस्त नहीं होना है,
If we're
धारी होकर.
we're supposed to exist as a server, but not be
Okay.
caught up in service. Is that okay?
ठीक है, ओके, थैंक यू. फिर से कोई नहीं कहे मुझे टाइम नहीं है.
No one should come and tell me they don't have
Mana,
time, because it
सेवा
means,
में बहुत खुशी है, शक्ति है.
of course, there's a lot of happiness and power in service, but service doesn't say that you can't have time for yoga.
हमारे साथी में जो ये नहीं कहते हैं तुम
Our companions don't say don't have yoga.
कहते हैं क्या,
Do they say,
योग क्यों लगाती हो?
why are you meditating? Nobody says, hey, you can't meditate. It's my job, I know what to do.
योग लगाना थोड़ी पड़ता है.
It's not about preventing people from
बाबा योग
meditating.
लगाता है.
Baba
पर
has
योग से
meditation,
मुक्त रह
but
करके
remaining in a yogyukt
योग युक्त रह
stage
करके युक्ति
and
युक्त
with the
पाठ बजाओ.
yuktis playing your part. Okay?
अच्छा है, डेविड भी आज पहुंच गया, देखा.
This is nice. David Bai has come. Daddy is happy to see you.
दूसरा पूछूं?
हाँ, जरूर पूछो. नेक्स्ट.
आज भी सवेरे बाबा ने
Today,
सच्चाई
this
पर
morning,
बताया,
Baba had spoken
और
about
आपकी
truth,
classes में भी मैं समझ
and in your
कोई
classes,
एक class नहीं
there
होगा
isn't a single
जिसमें
class in
आपने
which you
सच्चाई का
haven't
वर्णन न
mentioned
किया हो. हर
truth
class में
and
सच्चाई
talked
पर ज़रूर
about it.
आता.
You definitely
तो
describe
प्रश्न
it.
है
The
कि
question is,
अपने साथ हम सच्चे कैसे बने?
how can we be honest
क्योंकि
with the
कई
self?
बारी और
Because
हमारे को देखते हैं और
sometimes
उनको कई बातें का पता चलता,
people
परंतु हम खुद को
have
अपने आप को
something
शायद इतना नहीं देख पाते
about
हैं.
me that they
तो
see, but I
अपने आप
myself
से हम
don't see.
सच्चे
So how
नहीं
can I
रहते
be
ताकि
honest
खुद
with
अपने
myself
ठीक रीति से दर्पण
so
में
that
देख
I
सकें?
can see myself clearly in my own
बाबा के
mirror?
साथ भी हमारा
And then
सच्चा
also to be
संबंध और
honest
सच्चाई हो,
in my
और
relationship
अन्य
with Baba,
परिवार वालों के
and
साथ भी
also
हमारी
in
सच्चाई
my
हो.
relationship with other
तीन
members of the
प्रकार की
Divine
सच्चाई पर
Family.
आप
These
स्पष्ट
three
हैं.
aspects of honesty, could you clarify?
क्वेश्चन सबने समझा.
Did everyone understand the question? To give some indication.
हर एक पहले अंदर जवाब तैयार करे, फिर मैं जवाब.
First of all, each one should prepare their own answer, and I will then speak.
तो आप भी अंदर से जवाब तैयार करो.
Make your own answers ready first.
ये फिर भी मैं आती हूँ.
And then I come to this.
ज्ञान मान नहीं है.
Knowledge means
अपने आप को अच्छी तरह से जानना.
to know the self very well.
अपन को जानना माना बाबा को जानना.
To know the self very well means to know Baba very
बाबा
well.
ने मुझे पहचान दी तो अपन को जान.
Baba had given me recognition of him, and also recognition of the self. A long time ago, first I must understand myself as a soul, or should I understand who is my Baba first? And my natural practice or nature, when I say Baba, immediately the awareness of the soul would come. When I say Baba, then Baba means the truth. And I, the soul, am originally, eternally, the soul of the original eternal deity religion, and that's a true soul. And so the remembrance comes. And where did that come from? Baba had given it. The soul had been given understanding by Baba. Baba gives understanding and reminds you, and then the intellect catches it. Of course, we start out as a baby buddhi, a small buddhi, but until we develop, it is the power of truth of Baba that pulls the soul. The soul is drawn by the power of truth of God, and in the world, I've seen many times that I'm in the search for truth. Many sages and saints leave their home and they search for truth. We are not in search of truth because truth is in our hands. Some go searching for diamonds in the mines, and if they don't get the diamonds, but we have the truth in our hands. We have that diamond truth which makes us have a diamond life. It is true. It's not from a human or a deity, but it comes from God. Once you've got that understanding in your intellect, He made us His own, the true Father. Our eyes opened. This is not a human being, this is not a deity, this is God. Then the truth connects in the intellect. The soul recognizes truth. You need the power of recognition. Today, Baba said, if nothing else, just have the power of discrimination. Through that, the intellect becomes refined and subtle, not gross. Baba always used to say, and he would see if the intellect is a little subtle, and then the Baba would be very hopeful in that soul. Otherwise, he would say, no, this is one with a gross intellect. And I used to feel that Baba should never say this about me. Even now, I don't say anything like this about anyone, but sometimes I realize that some have a bit of a gross intellect, and I feel sorry for them. But to go into subtlety in any respect, just as people make the Ayurvedic doctors make the medicine and they prepare it individually, and it makes the people better. So when you sit within yourself and you go not into the search for truth, but search is in my hand, and go into the depth of that, it should come into the thought first. First, am I truthful in my thoughts? It shouldn't take a lot of time to clarify things. It can't be. You say the truth is very fast. If you just make a little bit of a plan and you say, oh, I didn't have time, just be quiet. Don't make excuses. In my whole life, if you have truthfulness, then you will show your face, otherwise you will bow your face. When you are in front of Baba, you keep your face, your head high. In the last moments, if there's anything untruthful, then Baba will say, don't bring that one in front if they're not being truthful. Don't bring that one to see Baba. It's as if a bad smell would be coming from a person who's untruthful, dishonest. You just need the truth to tell, the courage to tell the truth, and then Baba is happy. But arrogance doesn't allow you to tell the truth. This is arrogance. the inability to tell the truth, because there's great happiness in telling the truth. There is strength.
सच्चाई में परमात्मा मेरा है, मैं परमात्मा की हूँ.
I belong to God, God belongs to me in truth.
इसमें मतलब न सच्चा होना.
And if you're not truthful, then your conscience bites. It says, hey, this is wrong what you're doing. But because of arrogance or some old nature, or to make somebody happy, if you're not honest, the main thing is that when there are big mistakes and you don't tell the truth, and then you try to prove yourself and make sure somebody else looks like they're wrong, and you will show up others as being wrong. You'll say, this one did this and this one did that, but I was right. Then the soul is deceiving the self a great deal by doing this. Or they say, well, in comparison with this one, I'm very straight and true. I'm telling the truth. There are very few. Just as there is the story of true Narayan, they listen to Baba's Murli and they speak it and they think about it in a truthful way, and they don't mix up their arrogance. They add their own points. But whatever Baba is saying, this is the thing that's doing the inner work. I have to become Lakshmi and Narayan, so I have to absorb the qualities of that. And first of all, it is truthfulness. And so I need to be truthful to draw that into myself so that I get that certificate from Baba. I shouldn't be happy just trying to get the certificate of satisfaction from others. But I want a certificate from Baba. There should be the voice from Baba coming, saying, this is my child, my true child. When I came, Baba said that Shantamani Dadi is my honest child. I said, oh, she is an honest child. I want to be an honest child like that. And Didi had helped me a great deal in this. Didi used to see, whatever the thing is, however it is, just say it like it is and become light. And for that, Baba's door is always open. I will see through he will see through the curtain and call us. He knows the daughter has something to say, so come. I was sitting with Baba, and whatever the thing was, I was saying it as it is. I was sitting there. Someone came to Baba, saying, Baba, he would say, go away, it is the story of true Narayan that's going on. I got such a bliss that Baba is telling me that I am telling him the truth and he wants to hear it. So when you are truthful with God, it makes you truthful with yourself, and there is the miracle of truth. All of you who are still alive, it is the truth that keeps you alive. And those who are truthful in their service, if everyone would be truthful in their service, Baba would be visible right away. It all happens when we are being truthful. In cleanliness, there is truthfulness, and that means to be trustworthy and honest, and then to be in relationship with everyone. It shouldn't be that you like someone and dislike somebody else. This is a bad sanskar. Baba says everything is fixed in drama the way everyone is. This is the truth, that everything is fixed in the drama. Everyone has their own level of effort. So there has to be truthfulness to the self, truth within thought, truth in relationships and karma. Then there will be truthfulness coming into our sanskaras. That means the golden age is coming. And then the iron-aged garbage is removed when we keep ourselves clean. It is truth that destroys untruth. There are some who do not know that they are lying. They have created such a habit that they mix things. Other people can tell that they're mixing things, but they don't seem to realize what they're doing. Is that the truth, what Jantiban is saying? Is she telling the truth? Dadi says, yes, these days there are souls like this. So they don't know whether they're being truthful or untruthful. They have the habit of mixing truth with untruth. Whatever is convenient, they say, and they arrange what they're saying, and they don't realize that they're lying. Dadi says, this was perhaps in the Murli, recent Murli, Baba's talking about the contrast. Baba had a book made of the contrast. In the Murli today, Baba talks about the contrast, question of one and the other. Sometimes sit and make the contrast of truth and untruth, the contrast of sin and pure charitable action. What is the difference between truth and falsehood? If you say a lie once, then you never have the courage to say the truth. Otherwise, they'll say things to prove, or they'll start following somebody else that seems good, and whatever is the truth, to develop the truth within themselves, they will not do that work. And that becomes their nature. So one nature is the old one, the old Kali Yugi nature. Okay, maybe that has changed. Your way of eating and dressing and going around and having familiarity, that's also part of your old garbage nature. Okay, that's gone. But the nature that we have now, to become the conqueror of Maya and vices, negative karma, to become that. Think about this in your mind, intellect, and sanskaras, and let the stuff that had got caught up into your mind, intellect, and sanskaras, which makes you have ordinary effort, or which prevents you from having that deep love, that all became natural. You're not a constant yogi. And to make the effort to leave everything and just remain close to Baba and ready to go to the soul world and come back into the golden age. These things that Baba has told us, going into this produces the power to remain truthful. Otherwise, sometimes a bit of truth, a bit of falsehood, then it becomes very mixed, very adulterated. You are sometimes truthful, but then sometimes false. Then there is less faith in the self, less faith in others, and no faith in Baba. Because Baba wants a true and firm child. He wants you to be true and firm. And the firm one is the one who is true. One who's not true, they're not able to become firm because they don't have the foundation of truth, so they can't become strong. There are some who are very strong. And Baba says you are pillars, which is a very nice compliment from Baba when he says you're a pillar, because a building cannot get held up without a pillar. And if the building is unstable, then put a pillar and it'll hold up. You remember when we were breaking the walls between the two parts of Tellison Road, we put a pillar and we put a beam over it, and then that was it. It was a temporary, but it became very strong. Okay, if you haven't become a pillar, but you make yourself such that it's helpful for others, but to take support, you don't have if you have the power to take proper support, it makes you very happy. When Baba's talking about the Trinity, it is that the three are able to take support for cooperation from each other and be mutually supportive. Through truthfulness, there is love, and then there is unity and cooperation. If nothing else, Baba's service is there. And we do Baba's service with truthfulness, get together and do everything. This is good feeling for one another. And so this is the speciality, the importance. One is effort, the other is the return of blessings, and the other is the, if you understand the value of something, then you will use it. If you don't realize the value of something, then there is a mixture of falsehood and truth, so that you're not totally false, but you're not totally truthful. And if they say something truth, it's not totally truthful. And then they can't have faith in themselves, and there cannot be the vibration that the family has faith in them. Then they will say, well, the family doesn't understand me. But if you are very trustful and loving to the family, if you're truthful, the family will love you and trust you. And Baba says, you have courage, I will help you. They won't be able to use that blessing. If you don't have trust in yourself, and you don't have faith in God, and you don't have faith in the other people that you live with or wherever you go, you have to have faith in the people that you have love with, which you have company with. That faith will happen when you start, not superficially, but deeply inside, look at yourself and know yourself, which Baba had spoken in 2 words, checking and attention, which were spoken this morning. First, Baba spoke about yoga, then he talked about dhyan, which is attention. At every second, be attentive, which Baba says, be attentive. And if you're attentive, then internally you will have that connection, and you will see what is your weakness. If they're attentive on others, they won't see their own weakness. But you have to be attentive on yourself, then you will know if you're being truthful or not. Daddy will clarify a little further. Make your mirror always clean. Then you will see yourself clearly. The one is that you will be clean, and the other is you keep your mirror clean. These are very necessary things to be internalized, and through the power of concentration, look at yourself. Make sure the mirror of your heart is clean. Then Baba is a mirror in front of us also. Baba gives so much power that looking at him we have enough power to see ourselves, and whatever our weaknesses are, he gives us the power to destroy them. So he does the 2 acts. We sit to look and clear the mirror so that there's nothing on your heart, in your mind. Let it be completely clean. If you don't know how to clean up your mirror, then take help from Baba to clean up your mirror. Make sure there's nothing lurking in your heart, because the mirror has to be clean. Otherwise, the mirror can't tell you the truth. You know what the truth is by looking at the mirror. If no matter what anybody else says, but I must look at my own self, and I will see for myself what is true. I will not believe by what somebody else says, but I have to make sure my own mirror is clean. And if I don't know how to look at it, then Baba at that moment gives us the power. I tell you this from experience. He says, child, look, see, there's this this mistake in you, this stain in you.
हमारा मिटाने की भावना है
And then you have the feeling, He'll give us the feeling to destroy it, and immediately we will destroy it by being internalized and by the power of concentration. By yourself, you will see what is true, and then if you want to become true, then Baba will help you, and it's a practical thing. In Baba's hands there is this magic.
उसके स्नेह में जादू है
There is magic in His love
तो सच्चा बनाने का
to make
फिर
us
वो बाबा
true.
कहते तुम्हारे इस दर्पण में औरों को बाप दिखाई पड़ेगा
And then through the mirror of your face, others will be able to see
तुम्हारे
Baba,
इस दर्पण ये दर्पण इतना अच्छा
because
हो
your
जाए
face will become so
औरों
good
को बाप दिखाई
that
पड़ेगा
others will see Baba's face in it.
इतना दर्पण इतना अच्छा बनाया
When the mirror is so clean and clear,
पहले कैसा
it will
था
reflect Baba's face. What were you before? And by looking in the mirror, what have you become? Baba helps you to finish off all the stains and make you so beautiful that the one who made you beautiful becomes visible in your mirror.
कुछ हो आईना न हो तो कोई
If everything is in your home but there isn't a mirror, then it's useless. You need a good mirror so that everything is visible. And where do you get your mirror from?
सबको दर्पण दिखाई
Everyone's mirror should be visible.
चलाएंगे क्वेश्चन पूरा करो थके तो नहीं ना
You're not tired? Should we continue? This is a good opportunity for us to discuss, isn't it? Do you like this?
अभी तक
अभी जल्दी जल्दी वो आंसर देगी
ओके
Dadi says she will give answers quickly.
जब हम पहले बाबा के पास आते हैं
When we first came to Baba, we had renunciation easily because of Baba's love. But then as we go further, there are more things that we have to renounce.
त्याग करना पड़ता
We have to renounce again and again.
त्याग
So will we have to do this until the end, or how is it?
त्याग माना छोड़ो तो छूटे
Renunciation means let go and you're free from it. That is the meaning of renunciation.
कभी भी कोई कह रहे कैसे त्याग करूं त्याग की
Sometimes
बात ही नहीं है
people
ना।
say, how
छोड़ो
should
तो
I?
छूटे ना, आगे बढ़ेंगे ना
It's just let go and you can move forward.
पहले त्याग के पहले आता है वैराग
But before tyag, renunciation, comes disinterest. If there's something that's not useful for you, let it go and move
वैसे कोई
forward.
आगे कहते भाई तुम्हारा त्याग बड़ा अरे भाग्य बड़ा
Some
है
people talk about your renunciation, but you say, hey, it's nothing to do with that. I have great
कोई बात
fortune.
नहीं और बात नहीं हमें अच्छा लगता ही नहीं
Some
है
people say we don't even like
ज़रूरत
those
नहीं है।
things. We don't need those things. So it's not a question of renunciation, but we don't want them.
बातों का त्याग है ना
And the renunciation of these
हमारे
gross things which are not useful for us anyway, that's a very small time renunciation. What is it? What are these things?
जिसको मैं कहूँ कैसे छोड़ूं है ही क्या
That's such that I can say, how can I leave it? No, we left those. But now, the renunciation that we do now, dying, bowing, like Queen Mother used to say, bow, die, and learn. And the person who has the attitude to learn, they will be able to renounce very easily. Some people don't have the attitude of learning,
भाई खत्म करना ये भी सीख
but learn at every step.
चलो मैंने
Okay,
सारी कह दिया
I said sorry. It's my mistake.
नहीं ये ऐसे जो ये करते रहे मैं ऐसे
You say, oh no, somebody's doing it, how can I handle it? No, you need renunciation for that too. I have to learn,
झुकना है
I have to
झुकना है
bow.
और जो बदले उसके मैंने क्यों ना बदले
Not other people should change. That is not death, but with love, with truthfulness,
ऊपर दया से
with mercy on the self, change. It's not a big
बहुत
thing.
बदलना है
It's not a lot of change that's involved, just internally.
लगन की अग्नि में
Have the sweet fire of love and everything will change by itself,
लगता है
as if
कल पहले वाली स्मृति आ
the
गई
awareness of the
और
previous
ऐसा
kalpa has
पहले
come
युग की जो बात सब
and
समाप्त
the
हो गई,
things of the Kali Yuga are finished. Let it go.
उसकी समापत्ति
It's finished.
और ये हमारे जो संपूर्ण आह्वान
And
जो
there's the
संपूर्ण हमारे
invocation
चले
of
हुए
our
आह्वान
own
के लिए खड़ी है।
perfection, which is coming like a necklace to be garlanding us. Is this possible?
ओके
Yes? Is it
हाँ?
okay?
ओके अच्छा
आज सवेरे
This
आपने
morning
कहा कि
you
आप
said
सूक्ष्मतरम गति
that
बताएंगे।
you would say, you would tell us the subtle consequences of karma.
एक अभी लेटेस्ट मुरली में बाबा
In
ने
the
कहा
latest Murli Baba has said,
लक्ष्मी नारायण कैसे बने थे
how did Lakshmi and Narayan become? How did they become these? God had told them the deep, subtle philosophy of karma.
और अभी कभी भी कोई
And
बाहर वाले
now
कभी हमको
sometimes
मिलते हैं
we
कभी
meet
भी
some
हमने देखा
outside
है
people and we see
ज़्यादा लंबा 7 दिन का कोर्स भी जब तक करे या
that
जब तक
until
उसको
they've
टाइम हो जब
done
तक
the
उसको
7 days course properly,
ये इंटरेस्ट भी पैदा हुए
they
ये
have to
आवश्यक है
get interest
हमने
in this
देखा
thing.
है
And I've seen
आधा घंटा के अंदर ही
that within half an hour,
आत्मा
the soul, the
परमात्मा
Supreme Soul,
कर्मों की गुरु
and the deep philosophy
आप
of
अच्छी
karma,
तरह से अपने आप को भी देखकर
if you look at yourself very
फिर उसको
carefully
समझाओ नहीं
and
प्रैक्टिकली
then
उसको
not
बात करो
explain to people, but show
ये
by your
भी
practical
बता देते
life,
एक
show
ही
the
हमको
course.
समझा हुआ है
One thing is to
दूसरा अभ्यास
explain
किया
it,
हुआ
the
है
other is you
तीसरा
practiced it,
अनुभव
and the
है
third is the experience of it.
सिर्फ समझा हुआ नहीं समझा रहे हो
Because sometimes by explaining, people don't
सिर्फ अभ्यास
understand.
कर नहीं कर रहे हो
And if you haven't
अभ्यास में कभी
practiced
अभ्यास
it,
अच्छा होगा तो अच्छा
sometimes it'll
होगा
be good or
नहीं कभी अभ्यास
not,
कम होगा तो
or less practice.
पर अनुभव की शक्ति
But
है
the power of experience, of being a soul, either soul,
मैं पन चला गया निज
not the arrogant I, but the original
परमात्मा
I,
के साथ
with the Supreme Soul, having all
उसमें जो परमात्मा ने
relationships,
के कर्म की गुह्य
and the
गति
deep consequences
जिसी
of
अनुसार
karma
सतयुग से कलयुग तक
through
चक्र में
which
आए
we have got into the cycle
सतयुग में
from the
कैसे
Golden
थे
Age all the way through to
त्रेता में
the Iron
कैसे
Age.
थे
We see
द्वापर
how
में
we
कैसे
were
थे
in each
कलयुग अंत में
age,
अपने
and then
कर्मों को
at the
देखो
end of the
अपने
Kali Yuga, we
संस्कारों
look
को
at
देखो
our karma and
भगवान
our
ने आकर के
sanskaras. Then God
कर्मों की
came
गुह्य गति
and
सुनाई
told us the deep consequences of
कर्म में
karma.
और संबंध में जो विकार
In
है
the vices in
सारे
karma
नष्ट हो
and relationships should all be destroyed.
जाए जरा सा लोभ है जरा
A
सा
little
मोह है
greed, a little
अंदर
attachment,
थोड़ा अभिमान
a
है
little arrogance,
या कमजोरी है
or
या कमी
weakness,
है
or
या चाहना
insufficiency,
है
or desire.
वो भी कर्मों की बाबा ने कहा दुर्गति सदगति
There is these two things, salvation and degradation. It's all on the basis of karma. Either you will get degraded or you will get
क्योंकि सदगति में
salvation.
जा रहे हैं
Because we have to go into salvation according
ये
to
तो
our
मुक्त हो
karma.
गए जीवन मुक्ति में है
You got free, how? From karma.
तो कभी हम पहले पहले ये
So,
पहला शुरू का पुरुषार्थ बताती है
The first effort that we
खुद
used to
हमारा ध्यान
make,
हो
first is we had to
दूसरा
pay
जिसके
attention on
संपर्क में
ourselves,
संगम
and
में
the
है
ones that we
वो
come
हमारी
into
संगत से हमको ये पता
connection
चले
with. Through our connections, we can understand this quality of relationship with the Supreme Soul and the quality of the karma. I, the soul, with the Supreme Soul, and my karma accordingly.
तो हम कहते भी है और प्रैक्टिकल कर्म बड़े बलवान है
Karma is very powerful,
कर्म बड़े बलवान है
very, very powerful.
पर कर्म बलवान तभी बने जब
But
सर्वशक्तिवान
only
बाप मिले
if you have the connection with the Supreme
उसने
Father,
हमारे
the
कर्म को
Almighty.
बलवान बना लिया
He is the one who has made our karma
सर्वशक्तिवान
strong.
बाप ने कर्म में बल भर
It
दिया
is the Almighty Father who has filled our karma with power.
कर्म आगे विकर्म होता था
Previously it was negative karma, and now it's becoming neutral karma. Baba has said in the Golden Age, karma is neutral karma, and in the Iron Age, it's viceful karma. There has to be so much attention to make sure that you are free from the account of negative karma and do such pure charitable karma.
इतना हो
It should be so much that as you do the karma, you are detached
बाप का प्यार है
and in love with Baba. Go into the deep depth of karma and know it,
बाबा का सच्चा बच्चा बन कर्म
and
से
become
सच्चा
Baba's
बच्चा बन
true child through karma.
क्या करे महान आत्मा
Be a great soul
महान कर्म में महानता है
and have greatness in your karma.
कर्म की श्रेष्ठता में
Then the elevated stage in karma
श्रेष्ठता में परमात्मा की
contains
शक्ति
the
है
power of the Supreme Being.
हम आत्मा
We souls are doing it simply as an instrument. The power is of Baba.
प्रैक्टिकल में
In practical, our karma, the soul is simply an instrument,
निमित्त भाव है
and this karma is the soul is instrumentally doing karma.
नहीं
not under the influence of the karma. And then there is the power of the Supreme Soul behind that, and then the karma is very powerful and it gives power to others to do powerful karma. We do not give power, we become instruments. We souls, the power that we have received from the soul, Supreme Soul in our thoughts, words, and karma that is filled with power. I got that power, and through that, others receive power too. So I didn't give power. There is power in the karma, and he knows how the karma was made by the soul conscious stage and by the power of the Supreme. Then the karma that was done, it had filled either soul with power and given the practical experience that the karma was done accurately. There has to be complete renunciation. This is the yagya, this is Baba's bandara. I am eating from the bandara, and what service am I doing? For myself, if I take a lot for myself and have good clothes and good food, and I need a car and a driver, and I need this and that and the other, think about it. This one has a car, I should have one. This one has this, I should have it. What is this? And what is the fruit? You know, from the beginning, there are 30 years. I would never sit alone in a car. I'd have 3 or 4 others. And then we'd all go together. Because I sit to give company to others. Not I want. If you want, and you see others and then think you should have the same, I need this too, this subtle thought, which is developing, not good. The attitude of renunciation makes you a tapasvi image, and this does through true service. Your 2 hands above, that you are satisfied, you are content, you don't want anything. You are complete, you have everything, there is nothing remaining. Okay. We can go up till 8 o'clock. This is a great day. Some are leaving, some have arrived. When are we going to get this chance again? Baba had said, and he still says, if not now, then never. What is the meaning of that? There is this class of if not now, then never. If you don't do it now and say, I'll do it later, then you'll only do it half, or you won't do it at all. Therefore, with your own understanding, whatever you have to do, do it now. If you have to make effort, if you have to be surrendered, if you have to do elevated karma, do it right away. Make it your natural nature. Giving the excuse that you'll do it later or I'll think about it means you are finishing off your fortune. It's your fortune is lost. No, do it. Final, make it firm for yourself, and no one can stop you, and no obstacles can come. Whether in effort or service, do it now. Baba had said, the advanced party speaks of the advanced stage. When will it come? Fix its date. Baba asked us the date. And sometimes Dadi asks Baba, Baba, you give us the date. And let me tell you, the truth.
मैं डेट न कभी बाबा से पूछती
I will never ask Baba the date,
न कभी सोचती हूँ कौन सी
nor
डेट
will I
आएगी
ask which date
जैसे
will
कहा
it
जो
be.
करना है सब कर दे
Whatever you have to do, do it now. In the same way, your stage should be such that it should be made
आज
now.
बनाई हुई कोई डेट का इंतजार नहीं कर रहे
Then if you make your stage now, then there's no question of looking
जो
for
वो
a
एडवांस
date.
पार्टी वाले जो गए हैं
Because the
वो
advanced
तो
party
एडवांस में
people,
सेवा कर रहे वो थे ही ऐसे
they were anyway like
बस
that, so
हमारी
that
भी
they're
कोई
doing
पीछे
service in advance.
उनसे हम पीछे न रह जाएं
But we don't want to be left
हम
behind.
साथ साथ सत्युग में आने
We
वाले
want to
हैं
come with them in the
सेवा में
golden
साथ साथ
age.
हैं
We do service
हम
with
पीछे
them.
रुक जाएं उसके लिए रुके या किस कारण से रुके हम
So
रुकने वाले नहीं हैं
we should not get held up for
बाबा
somebody
डेट
or
किसी
some
डेट हमको
reason.
फिक्स नहीं करनी है
It's not that we have to
कर दी
fix the
ये
date.
आप लोगों को बताया है
And I told you
शुरू से
yesterday,
लेकर
from
के
the beginning,
बाबा ने पहले जब
Baba
मैं आई हूँ
had, when I
बाबा
first
ने
came
कहा
in,
दूसरी
Baba
दिवाली
said,
नहीं है
there's not going to be
आज
another
दिन तक ये
Diwali.
सोचते दूसरी दिवाली
Even
नहीं
now,
है
I keep thinking there's not going to be another
और 67
Diwali.
दिवाली हो गई
And we've already had 67 Diwalis.
आज भी मैं कहेंगी दूसरी दिवाली नहीं है
And
मैं
even
दूसरी दिवाली के
today,
रुकती नहीं हूँ
I'm
इस
not
हंस के
waiting
रखा
for
है
the next
जो
Diwali.
करना है इस साल में कर
Whatever we have to do it this year. We don't know about
और फिर
2005,
एंड तक मत पूछ
not even the end of
जो
2004.
कुछ करना है
But whatever we have to do it now.
तो डेट की क्या बात है
Then there's no question of a date. You make the date now.
पर हर डेट हर
But
दिन
every day, every date,
जो करना है सो
whatever you have to do it.
एडवांस स्टेज बाबा कहती हैं
And then what about the advanced stage, the karmatit
जो
stage?
आज बाबा ने कहा कर्म आती तो सब
Baba had spoken about karmatit and complete within us, this stage,
अच्छी
such a good feeling for the self
तीव्र इच्छा
and a deep desire
कर्म आती
that I will become karmatit, and let me take
शरीर छोड़ दे
the
बाबा को
fragrance of that, the juice of that. I might leave this body any time. I want to be karmatit and then leave the body. Sitting in this body, make yourself free from karma. Baba had clarified it today. No impact of karma, and perfection will come when there are no weaknesses, no insufficiencies. Everything is there,
शोभा नहीं है
because it doesn't look good if you have things missing.
तो ये अगर ध्यान रखेंगे
So if you're attentive, then it's possible.
नहीं हो सकती है
Can it not be
हो सकती
possible?
है ना
Isn't it possible? What do you think?
क्योंकि ये भी बात समझो
Think this.
वैसे इंसान जात ऐसी है जो चाहे सो कर सकता है
People are such that they can do whatever they want. Once you have Baba, whatever you want, it can get whatever Baba wants, do that, get that done. Baba can get it done through you. If a human being can do whatever they want because of science,
क्या क्या से क्या किया है अभी
what
भगवान
not can be done. Baba is the Almighty Authority, and He says, do this.
भगवान की इच्छा है
This is the desire of God, and we can say in silence, we will do it, and He is getting it done. It's a matter of cleanliness, a very deep feeling to do it, which should never reduce the desire to get it done, whatever Baba wants. Then everything is possible for me, Dadi said in English. Each one individually can say, for me, it is possible. I have to do it.
बाबा कराता है
And Baba is getting it
सबकी
done.
मदद है
And everyone is helping.
3 और प्रश्न है
3 more questions.
3 और प्रश्न है
जल्दी जल्दी पूछो रहने दो
बुद्धि का अभिमान के लिए बाबा ने कई बार
Baba has often spoken about the intellectual arrogance. What is a sign of that, and how do we become free?
अभिमान
Arrogance
सुख मान अपमान के फीलिंग में ले आता है
makes you have the feeling of sorrow and happiness and insult, and
जरा सा भी सूक्ष्म फीलिंग चेंज
if you get these very subtle feelings, change going on. You can't remain always pure and strong. The body conscious stage is where you are detached from all that.
बिल्कुल कैसी भी बात आए ना
No matter what comes up,
ड्रामा
you say drama and Baba.
ये ड्रामा
This is drama.
पहले बाबा
First Baba and then drama.
बहुत अच्छी शांत
Very good, peaceful,
शक्ति
loving
जमा करने में
accumulation of power, and you get help. Baba is there, whatever drama is there, whatever happened.
अच्छा नेक्स्ट ओके
Is this okay?
जो बाबा कहते हैं कि
Baba
मैं
says,
और मेरा का त्याग करो,
give up I and
इसका
mine.
सहज साधन क्या है?
What is the easy way?
ये तो छोटी बात
This is a very small question.
छोटी
You already,
बात है अभी इतनी
it's a
बड़ी
small
बातें
thing.
सुनी है
I've talked about such
तो
deep
मैं संभल के
things,
बोलेंगे मेरा कुछ है ही नहीं
so I will say I don't have anything,
मैं संभल के बोलेंगे इतनी सारी गहरी
and
बातें सुन के
I
मैं बोलेंगी भी नहीं सोचेंगी भी नहीं मैं
don't.
मेरा बाबा ही है जो
I say
बाबा
Baba
ने
is
एक
mine.
गुप्त संदेश में दिया है
Baba had once given a deep, secret
मेरा है
message.
संसार बाबा
My world is Baba.
संसार है
The world is my Baba.
जब मेरा संसार बाबा है
When my world
तो
is Baba,
संस्कार जो है
then the
बाबा
sanskaras
के जो वो भी मेरे हैं
of Baba are mine.
बाबा मेरा कैसे हुआ
How did Baba become
कैसे मानूं
mine?
मेरा बाबा है
How can I believe that
तो
Baba
मैं
is
का
mine? When there is the
बाबा
arrogance of
मेरा है
I,
वो मानने नहीं देता है
then it won't allow you to say Baba is mine.
बाबा मेरा है ना
If we
तो
say Baba
मेरा
is
बाबा है तो
mine,
प्यार
Mera
है ना
Baba,
बाबा का
then there is love for Baba.
संबंध में है ना
There's
सच्चाई
a
है ना
relationship, it's a
संस्कार
truthful
जो बाबा
one,
का है
and then the sanskaras of Baba,
ईश्वर का जो है ना
of God,
वो मेरा हो जाता
they become mine.
उसमें फिर खुद के पुराने संस्कार का परिवर्तन हो गया
And then there is a
औरों के
transformation of
संस्कार
your
का
old
कभी
sanskaras, and you're never
अब
under the
आत्मा के अंदर औरों के संस्कार का
oppression
कोई
of somebody else's
सब कुछ नहीं
sanskaras.
करते हैं
They cannot suppress you.
अच्छे या बुरे से वो पार है
You're beyond
जैसे
the
बाबा
good and the
पार
bad,
है
just as Baba is
फिर
beyond.
मैं तो तुम्हें रहने वाला है और
And he
हमारे को
remains
पवित्र
in the
पावन
soul
बनाता है
world, but he
तो
comes
उसके
and
हमारे
makes us
पतित
pure.
बनेगा कोई इफेक्ट नहीं आता
And then there's no effect of our
कोई भी हमारी
impurity
खराबी का बुराई का उसको
on
असर नहीं
him,
होता है पर उसको भी ऐसे
but
प्यूरिफाई
he
बना देता है
purifies us.
वो शक्ति हमारे में
That power has to come into us, so we're not
बाप की
affected
शक्ति
by
वो
anyone else's
औरों को भी
impurity. The power
जो
of the
कुछ
Father,
impurity है जो कुछ ये है
whatever is the impurity in any other soul, it should
ये
go.
अंदर हमारे अंदर ये रही
That should be there within us.
बाप की जो है ना
Truthfulness,
वो मेरी हो गई
and
प्रॉपर्टी
whatever is the property of Baba should become my
बाप
property.
का जो जिस तरह के से बाबा सेवा करता है
And the way in
जैसे
which Baba
बाबा
wants
स्वयं
us to
अपने
do
घर में
service,
भी रहता है
Baba remains
अव्यक्त
in
वतन
his own
वास जाकर
home.
अव्यक्त वतन बिठा करके
He
करता है
comes into the
दोनों
subtle
मिलके वो
regions,
करते
and
हैं
the two
हम
fathers
दोनों
come
के बीच में
together
नाचता
and they dance amongst we children.
है दोनों बाप के बीच में
If we remain
क्या
in the
करेंगे
midst of the two fathers, then what will
जो
happen to
उसने
the
जो
child?
दादी
That
बाबा ने
day,
खिलौना बना दिया
Dadi
मैं
Gulzar
बोली
had made
बाबा
us
खिलौना बना
into
दिया क्या
a
बाबा खिलौने
toy.
को
Baba
दिखाना
became like a toy for me to show to everyone.